Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here in Canada. How can you tell that I live in Canada? What's the first giveaway? For all my Floridian viewers, the heck with you guys. This is where the fun is. Thank you for joining us today here. Stock Markets with Bruce. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. And also those of you who are supporting me with PayPal donations. You guys are great. This channel is all about the stock market in plain English. I try to explain to you what the heck is going on out there, and lots of news in the markets, including cruise lines. This just yesterday, Friday, December 11th, 2020, the S&P Ratings Agencies, they're the guys who kind of from time to time will rate bonds and rate corporations. Well, they have decided to put Royal Caribbean and Norwegian cruise lines on credit watch, and they are concerned with the fact that, first of all, cruise lines aren't sailing. Number two, they're not going to be sailing for quite a while yet, and that is actually the problem. It's no secret that the cruise lines haven't cruised since last March because of the pandemic. But what is becoming more and more clear as each week goes by is the so-called restart date for sailings. And it wasn't supposed to be this way. This ship right here was supposed to be the Salvation. For those of you who don't know the story, this ship, Sea Dream Yacht Club, was supposed to save everybody. The ship was sailed from Europe to Barbados, and it was supposed to conduct a bunch of one-week sailings in the Caribbean, far away from America, far, far away from all those positive COVID cases out of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. The thinking was, hey, we will test passengers before they get on the ship, test the crews. We'll have only 55, 65 passengers. We'll have 60, 65 crew. We will keep this ship spick and span. We'll have champagne in the cabins, big, roomy cabins. Every cabin has a balcony, so we have lots of fresh air. This was to be the poster child for the cruise lines to convince the CDC and other health regulators to allow sailing again. Well, guess what? 3 days into the first 1 week sailing from Barbados, a total of 9 cases showed up between the 50-something passengers and 60-something crew. Absolute disaster, complete wipeout. The ship had to return to Barbados, and even then Barbados blew it by forcing everyone on the ship to get out of the country within 24 hours of landing. Even if you had the symptoms, they allowed a family of 5 to fly home on a private jet back to, guess where? The USA. And I don't know where they landed, and I don't know if they declared their sicknesses and virus counts. I have no idea whatever happened. But this was a disaster. And all the cruise lines have quietly gone real silent ever since, because that cruise line, after 2 or 3 successful one-week cruises, was going to be the poster child for the cruise industry in North America to get back on its feet. But it didn't happen. It was an unmitigated disaster from a small Caribbean island. And I'll tell you, every Caribbean nation down in the Caribbean, they're looking at this going, I don't think we want 4,000 passenger cruise ships coming around right now. I think we'll wait. And what are we waiting for? Well, we're all waiting now for the vaccine. The vaccine is the next savior for the cruise lines. The first savior was just time. The thinking was that we'll stop sailing in March and we'll be back in May and June, and it'll be great. The virus will sort of ebb and peter out, and it won't be a big issue. Well, it didn't peter out. It went worse and worse and worse, and despite all the naysayers, now it's a global absolute monster, and in North America, it's a big, big problem. Well, the cruise lines figured, all right, let's just wait it out. In the meantime, we'll keep coming up with good news stories like this short story right here, the Odyssey of the Seas. It's all finished now. It's going to be a great ship. Problem is, it's 6 months behind, and all the cruises that were scheduled have been canceled. They have to redo the whole calendar all over again. The other problem here is this problem right here, Alaska. You can't sail to Alaska to do a one-week cruise or whatever without stopping in Canada, either on the way up or back. You got to stop in Canada, and Canada takes the virus very seriously. And so The Canadian ports have been shut down since last spring, and the talk now is it could be all of 2021. There won't be any sailing into Canada, either the East Coast or the West Coast, which kills Alaska and kills the maritime cruises all of 2021. So these are more issues. And this is what the S&P 500 rating agencies are talking about here. They are looking at the cruise lines going, guys, we love your ships. We love the fact that you have raised billions of dollars in cash to hang around and wait it out. The problem is we thought it would only take you 3 to 6 months to kind of get through it, and then you'd be back up and running again. After all, you've got lobbyists all over Washington. You can easily persuade senators and congressmen to push the White House and the CDC. Well, it didn't work. When you have 200,000 cases a day of the virus and now 3,000 deaths a day, you're not getting anyone sailing anywhere. You're not going to get Europeans flying into the United States. Canadians can't even leave their country unless they're flying out. This is an unmitigated disaster, and the rating agencies are figuring out, oh my gosh, if they're waiting, these cruise lines are waiting for the vaccine to bail them out. The reality is becoming clear that the vaccines will not be fully distributed to all of North American potential sailing passengers until late summer of 2021, which means that the earliest that these cruise ships could probably start sailing would be September, October, November of 2021. That's a 1.5 year shutdown. And in the case of the big three publicly traded companies, that it would be Carnival, Norwegian, and Royal Caribbean, you take 18 months of shutdown at $1.1 billion a month of cash lost. That is over $20 billion that has evaporated from the bank, from the balance sheets, and bottom line, the money wasn't there in the first place. They had enough money to last the first month with the shutdown. After that, they had to raise money every month. And so the cruise lines will have borrowed close to $20 billion by the end of 2021 to be able to restart sailings, and even then there might be serious restrictions. Gone are these days right here where the pool is packed, the sun deck is packed. Forget about it. This isn't going to happen. Even with vaccines, this is not going to be allowed for the first full year of sailings. These ships will be restricted to maybe 50% occupancy. This goes here for our friends at Carnival with Holland America, Princess, Cunard, P&O UK, P&O Australia, Costa Cruising, all the lines, MSC, Disney, you name it, everyone is under the same rules here. The restrictions will be probably half capacity only, and I can see the cruise lines slowly but surely bringing their ships out, starting off with 2 or 3 ships per cruise line, and then building up their sailings from there. These places right here, the place like a Perfect Day at Coco Key and Castaway Key and all the other private islands that the cruise lines operate in the Caribbean, they will be very popular indeed, because the only people that'll be on this island will basically be ship staff, the crew, and passengers. You're not going to be intermingling with the local population. The Bahamas is going to love it because these cruise ships won't be exposing their passengers to their citizens directly, and the cruise lines will love it because it gives them an opportunity to market the safety of the cruise a little more to their potential passengers. Lots to think about here. And in any event, the stock analysts in Wall Street have been recommending the cruise lines as a buy. They've been upping their price targets for the last 3 months. And this week, we may have seen everything come to roost here. The shares of the cruise lines have started to back off again. Now the credit ratings are putting the companies on credit watch. And don't be surprised that between now, which is coming into mid-December, and late January, guess what happens? A new administration is going to take over. A whole new bunch of CDC directors and Homeland Security directors. All the cabinet positions will be changed out. And now science will rule. And this could definitely put the nail in the coffin for an early restart to cruising out of North America. The virus has to be defeated, and it's going to take an all-out effort to do it. The cruise lines, unfortunately, are going to have to sit around and watch that show, and hopefully it'll all work out for them to be able to sail in the latter bit of 2021. They probably won't have all their ships in the water until 2022. And like I said, at half capacity, I don't even know how these guys are going to make any money. They'll probably be able to break even, but that does not justify the shares where they are now. Royal Caribbean were upwards of $83, $85 a share. Closed this week just around $79, $80. $50 a share might be the next range for this stock. Norwegian at up to 28. Think about 15. Carnival in the 20s. Think about 15 as well, because it's going to take quite some time for these cruise lines to be able to ramp up and have the kind of cash flow that they were used to right up until January of 2020. Remember, folks, there were supposed to be 30 million cruisers this past year in 2020. I think 4 or 5 million got a cruise in. There were supposed to be 32 million in 2021 and 34 million in 2022 based on projections. But a bunch of ships have been retired. New ships are delayed. And there'll be restrictions. So we'll watch it. We'll follow it. Thank you for all your support of my channel, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for PayPal donations. We'll keep you posted on developments. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.